Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we do 3 to 4 interesting tech topics in the news, give you some cool library fact, get you on your way in about 15 to 20 minutes. As always, if there's a topic you want us to discuss, Creation Station at broward.org comes right to me. Today, I have Andrea Rubin from Deerfield Beach Library with me. How are you doing, Andrea?
I'm okay. How are you, Bob?
Life is great. The background here looks radically different today because we are getting ready for Conference on Children's Literature. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really fun.
It is going to be
So
awesome.
tell everybody, what do you do up there at Deerfield?
I am the youth services librarian. So I'm responsible for all the programming for children in the library. I love it. It's so much fun. If you're ever in Deerfield Beach, please come to my programs. I do 2 programs on Monday, one at 10 o'clock and one at 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock is when we do programs for toddlers. 11 o'clock is when we do programs for preschoolers. On Tuesdays at 4
And then you
p.m.
collapse because,
Oh,
and then you collapse
no,
because there's
it's
so many,
actually
yeah,
no,
too many kids. Yeah.
no, I don't collapse. Like, you know what? The kids have so much energy and they get me energized. And it's like Tuesday is like a huge day for me because Tuesday is when we have slime time and paint.
Oh,
So I read 3 books and then we make slime. And then once the kids are done making slime, they can paint. So like all of that takes an hour, and then it takes me
yeah.
like 3 days to clean it up.
That is a crazy amount of, that is awesome. That is
I know.
everybody. Go up there to Deerfield and see Andrea.
Absolutely. Oh my
She'll
God.
hook you up with the slime. That's the thing. Yeah,
Slime is
crazy.
fantastic. And then Wednesday
is.
I do a program for like little babies, like 3 to 12
Okay.
months. And that's
Cool.
at 10:30. So we sing little rhymes and then we play with our little toys and the moms talk. So it's a really nice group of ladies, and it sort of
Good.
acts as a support group for new moms, which I think
Yeah.
is so important. So yeah, we have fun. Or I try to at least.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Let me share up my browser here so we can talk about these stories. We got a couple of interesting things here. And our first one today is all about DART. So in case you don't remember, we covered DART when it launched a while ago. DART is a small little spacecraft that's going to smash into an asteroid out there, thousands and thousands of miles away from Earth. This is not Armageddon, folks. This is a small, tiny little asteroid. But isn't this going to be fun, Andrea?
I think so. I mean, I find it kind of interesting because I think I only learned about asteroids through a novel that I had read. And I mean, this was several years ago. I think that one of the main characters of this book got hit by a meteor and actually survived this, meteor collision situation.
Yeah.
And I remember like thinking like, oh, like I don't know anything about this, and like what is the likelihood of this actually happening, and if it does happen,
Yeah.
what is the likelihood of anyone surviving? So I think in the book the person survived, and that was their story, but I think in reality the likelihood of anybody ever getting hit by a meteor is probably pretty minimal, isn't it?
Well, it depends on how big it is. Remember the asteroid that smashed into the planet and killed all the dinosaurs. And so that's kind of the idea is
Right.
this is a small little one, 120 meters across. So it's
Okay.
barely bigger than a football field. And this is a tiny little satellite that we're crashing into it. But the cool thing with it is we're going to be able to see a live feed. Now, live from deep space, remember, is minutes and minutes delayed. But we're going to see, NASA is going to see a live feed right up until the last centimeters before it smashes into the rock. And then they're going to test how much it actually pushes the asteroid off of its trajectory right now so that we'll know, okay, well, if we hit it with this much force, this is how far it goes. And we can hopefully hit one that's coming towards Earth next time before it ever gets too close and steer it just a little bit away to make it easier for us.
Well, I mean, has that happened yet? Like, have they sent this DART?
They have not. They have not done it yet. We have not been able to pull that off yet. That's one of the key things that we are going to be trying to pull off.
Okay. So that's some work that NASA is doing right now.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Our other topic, and you were like lighting up about this, very much pun intended.
Yes.
So, whenever you do anything, you should always try and reconsider all your possible things, the things the unexpected circumstances afterwards.
Absolutely.
We've reduced our natural, emissions and bringing down fossil fuel use because we've replaced a lot of regular light bulbs with LEDs. The problem with that is LEDs now create more light pollution because they're brighter. And you can see, I'm scrolling down here to see if here's a really good one down here for Los Angeles. Here's what the city of Los Angeles looks like with all the LED lights outside. You see none of the stars like you're supposed to be able to, or you would hopefully see it.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen the night sky in Florida except for like immediately after Hurricane Wilma when there was no electricity at all.
Yep.
It was like, whoa, look at that. There's stars out there because there were no lights. So that was kind of an interesting experience. And I think the only other time I've actually seen the night sky in Florida was one night when I was driving back from, I guess, the west coast of Florida, like the Fort Myers area, and I was on.
If you go out into the deep Everglades out there.
And there's like not a lot of light on Alligator Alley, and it's like, holy smokes, you can actually see the night sky.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot of that opportunity in the cities anymore.
I know, and it's kind of this weird conundrum that we're doing much better by using LED lights, but then because they're so much brighter, and one of the reasons I liked this picture that they used is you'll notice where all these lights are. These are the outdoor lights that are not a lot of them are not even properly shaded to have some, because you don't need the lights shining up and around. You just need them pointing down and have a decent shade around it to block some of that light.
Right.
So
I guess there's also, safety concerns, like people always feel safer, at night.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you should, right. People should definitely want to have those lights around them so that they can feel safer. And I agree with you on that. In my house, I put LED lights in the front house and up in the front thing, so they're nice and super bright there, so that anybody who comes near the house. But they're also up inside of the soffits so that there's no chance of the light going around and spreading anywhere else, which is kind of that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, especially like here in Florida, I mean, we have to be so careful with, too much light because of, the little baby turtles. If it's too light, then apparently instead of going back into the ocean, they end up walking out into the street, which, can't be good for any species on a busy street.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, and we all here in Florida should, everyone here in Florida should be knowing about light pollution and how it affects turtles and all of the things like that. So definitely, if you're doing this, the final wrap up of this article is California is going to look to pass a law that will require people to put in those shields around their lights to keep it there, or change the color of their lights from the blue to the to a warmer color so that it looks more natural.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess the LED lights apparently are a lot brighter. Yeah. But I wanted to show you this summer.
Show us this. This is so much fun.
Okay, so this summer, I did like a little activity about Light Bright, which is, was one of my favorite toys.
Light Brights.
And
I hope somebody else out there in the world knows what that is.
What it looks like now, it's super thin, and the pegs still exist. And it's interesting because most of the parents that were in attendance with their children at the program were unfamiliar with this toy because, well, it's like, from a long time ago. And young parents are young. So when I wanted to talk about Light Bright and how it worked, I was curious to find out, because when I was growing up, the actual Light Bright toy itself was like really deep in the back. It was like an old computer monitor, which
Yeah.
would have
Yeah, those
been
big old CRTs. Yeah, the big deep
like in
things. Yeah.
1999. And so I figured, okay, well, I guess I can open it up to sort of see what's going on inside. And I learned, I learned that the reason why, I'm sorry. The reason why the toy has gotten considerably smaller is because they're using LED lights on the inside of it.
Yeah,
So
that is the way things are.
yeah, so it's like,
Everything's moving to that. It's cheaper. It uses a lot less electricity, everything like that. Yeah, it's
yeah,
amazing.
and it doesn't get hot. I mean, I can't remember. I guess my old light bright could have potentially gotten
Yes, it
hot
did.
because
Yes,
was,
it did.
you
They
know,
would melt. They would have, yeah, that's one of the things with the electrics. I
yeah.
know.
Yeah, so I mean,
Did I spot something earlier when you were moving around? I think I spotted something that got pretty hot back there.
did. Okay, so while I was talking about light bright, I also had this crazy need to bring out another one of my favorite toys from childhood, which
It was
is,
a great, I loved this.
oh
I
my
used to use,
God,
I used to steal my sister's one and start making stuff all the time.
it's
Easy
awesome.
bake ovens.
The Easy Bake Oven, yes. Now, apparently the Easy Bake Oven has like been around since like the late 50s or early 60s, and it's had so many different
50s.
incarnations.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
forever.
it's a pretty old toy. But because, I mean, you put the little cake in here now,
Yep.
there's no flap that opens, like no door, because that would be too dangerous. But because the oven itself needs to heat up, LED lights wouldn't work. So this toy still uses.
It's crazy.
I know. Yeah.
Regular old light bulbs still. Yeah.
I know. And we actually I would never suggest this because like the mixes are like super expensive.
Oh, you could just make your own. I would have
Yes,
never
you
did.
can. So we actually made a little cake, and you know what? It did work. The cake was baked,
Yep.
and the light bulb heated up the cake, and the
Yeah.
kids were astonished because they'd never seen anything like it before.
That's
And it was
great.
really fun.
It is. It
So,
really is.
yeah.
And that's actually, you're giving us the great segues today. So that leads us right into the new way of creating things. So you don't do very many presentations out for the public, do you, Andrea? You just do story times
I
mostly?
do story times.
Yeah, and
primarily,
story
that's
times,
all I do.
now, I'm not saying story times are definitely presentations,
Oh,
but usually your toddlers and your preschoolers are a little more forgiving for when you're
yes,
giving them.
absolutely. Very
And
interactive. Yeah. I
Yeah.
never have a captive audience, and that's the way I love it.
And that's what happens. So deep nostalgia, which what we've covered about 6 months ago, is the one where they take your photos and they can age them and try and recreate a 3D image out of the one single photo to recreate from like really old photographs and stuff. They have now got a new one called Creative Reality Studio. I'll show that link here right now for you so everybody can see it.
Oh, wow.
It's free to use. You can click on any of their presenters. It is just a picture like that.
Wow.
And then it just works. And scrolling down to see here, you get a free 14-day trial to test this out. So if you're someone who does a lot of presenting, you're probably not going to want to use this. But if you just have to do that one special presentation, or you have and the goal with this is trainings. So you write up the whole training script, and now you can have 6 different presenters present those training scripts because it's just a picture. And
Wow.
the AI turns that picture into the talking person who's able to do all that presentation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond, I guess.
$50 a month, and it for 15 minutes of HD video a month.
Wow. I don't know. I guess like I'm a bit of a Luddite in a way or something. It's like, it's a little too much for me. It's a little too advanced. I mean, I guess that's the way we're headed, and things are just going to continue to progress. I don't know. I remember about a decade ago, there was an activity I had done with some kids. It was a template that had been put out by the company that makes the school yearbooks. And they gave you this template with like different hairdos. And the kids could stick like their little picture, their face into hairdos from like, the 40s, the 50s, the
Yep.
60s, the 70s, and of course, the best one of all was the 80s because everybody had a bottle of hairspray in their
That
head.
is, yeah. Now, this video that we're showing right here, Andrea, this is AI.
Wow.
This is the person doing it.
Wow. Wow.
Kind of amazing. It's just a single photograph and the AI can transform it and make it talk like that.
That's just, yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
Human? I mean, yeah. I mean, what does that mean for us as regular humans?
Well, I think what it's going to mean is that everyone's just like everything else. It's one of those signs where we all have to create. No, that's my. I feel great about these things. It's like, yeah, I want to be this because now you as the human are going to be able to create and make all these really cool things because you've got these nice, AI additions, these nice tools that would help you do it. So you don't have to become this master presenter. You can just come up with your script, come up with your idea, and then bam, now you've got something to an AI, a robot type of thing to present it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to worry about making sure you're wearing lipstick or your hair's combed.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
You can remain ageless.
Did I comb my hair today? What do I
Oh
need
my
to do? Yeah,
goodness.
exactly. I know, isn't it? It's that way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Man, we just flew on by our time right here today, Miss Andrea, isn't it? I want to make sure I remind everybody, anyone who's watching this today, because it's tomorrow, Conference on Children's Literature is happening here at Main Library tomorrow. So if you're in South Florida and get a chance to register and come in tomorrow, great. If not, you're going to miss out on a great time.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Four
fun.
or five of the authors we had a chance to see and do, and we just finished setting up an auditorium style setting here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right. Well, maybe I'll see you
It's
tomorrow.
gonna be standing room only. Yeah, I got to go back here and and turn all this gear in to make sure I can do the presentations tomorrow. Let me share up our final slide for everybody. If there is a library or librarian you'd like to see focused, email us creationstation@broward.org. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next week.